Welcome back to the last live of Power Exchange. We're live on Power FM and TV. The show is also live on Facebook. And SATCOM, my guest this morning is Atodin Lamin Parbo. He's going to talk to us about the Liberia country report on the country's digital procurement regime. And that report was sponsored by the African Information Center. Atodin Parbo, welcome.
Thank you, Anthony.
First, give us a synopsis of your report.
Okay, so the report that we did was a study in the procurement of digital technology systems and also the uses of digital technology systems. So the aim of the report basically was to gauge how aware the public was of digital technology systems. And when we say digital technology systems, we basically are talking about technologies that are used like facial recognition, biometric readers, and stuff like that. So basically, ICTs, that can be used for good and bad purposes sometimes. So to gauge how the public knew, how much the public knew about these technologies, or to also gauge the public's perception on what kind of expenditures that the government makes on those technologies, and then lastly, was to also evaluate the legal framework around the usage of those technologies and also around the usage of data collected by using those technologies. So, in a nutshell, that was what this report was aimed at gauging.
Who did you target?
Okay, so we targeted two groups of people. So we did a survey that targeted or that spoke to people in person. So we interviewed 200 people in Nimba, Monserrado, Magili, Grand Basso, and Bon counties. So basically 5 of the biggest counties in the country. We interviewed 200 people, a small sample across the board. And then what we did was we did 200 surveys online. So we sent an online survey link to 200 different people for them to also respond to. Then we didn't start there. We interviewed what we call key stakeholders. And those are largely government people working in different sectors that had to do ICTs. And
what were you looking for?
Yeah, we're looking for the government people. We wanted to know how the procurement process works, their basic understanding of that process. We also wanted to know the government's preference when it comes to where they will procure digital technologies from, whether they were in use firstly, what kind of rules were in place, and how the rules are being upgraded or stuff like that from the key stakeholders. So we interviewed basically government people that are focusing around that sector and one academic, to gauge how the academic sector it will be also impacted or looking at those technologies.
Did you find that they were more interested in talking to you, or they just didn't have interest?
For the paper-based survey, it was easy to do. We didn't have any problem.
Sorry, let's wait there to take this person. Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm Lawrence Kimaya, speaking from Benson Street, Snapper Hill.
Pleasure you, Mr. Kimaya.
Yeah, I'm listening to a young man in studio talking about digital technology. On the line of education, our population, we have a very low population that will be very educated. He's propagating good messages. The post and telecommunications, that is the regulatory, some part of information or technology or in the digital world. I think he should recommend to these agencies and the LTA, that is the regulator of the GSM companies. I think there is an information that the average librarian would need on this digital technology, the advantages and disadvantages. That's where I am having a problem.
Okay, thank you for your input. 0770-207-209 or 08805111113 are the numbers you can use to call to be live on the show. My guest this morning is Atodin Lamin Parbo. We have been talking about a report that was sponsored by the African Freedom of Information Center, and it was a research done on Liberia's digital procurement regime. Okay, this person is off. 0770-207-209 or 0880511113 are the numbers to call. So his concern is about engaging the LTA on having the people to know about this whole issue of technology, how they can use it to their own advantage.
Yeah, and he's right. He's right that information relating to digital technologies are very low in the country, especially amongst people. He's extremely right about that. And what the study found, only 13% of people knew about them. Of those 13%, 54% knew about.
What's about access to internet? Did you find out something about that?
We didn't look at access to internet. Basically, digital technologies. I mean, the internet is kind of like an enabler, all these different technologies. Because most of the time, they will have to be used. Data will have to be either a local area network will be created, or the internet will be used for people to transmit data in between and stuff. We're not looking at that. We're looking at the physical technologies.
Okay, you were talking about the impression of the ordinary people when you spoke to them before we took that call. I was asking whether they developed much interest in the survey.
Yeah, so the people in the paper-based survey, it was easy. People responded to it without any issues. The problem was with the online survey. So the online survey took us very long because you send a link to people and it takes time for them to respond. Some people did not respond at all, so it took far longer than the paper-based survey. So the interest of people, the everyday person walking up to them, asking them to respond to stuff was easy. But I mean, other people who were sitting in their offices and so, because normally the paper-based survey, the digital survey would be for people who own their office base. They either have smartphones or they have computers and stuff like that.
Okay.
That took time.
We're still speaking to Attorney Lamin Power on the show this morning. Welcome if you've just joined us. This is Power Exchange and the show is live on Power FM and TV. This person was coming through, but he or she went off. You were talking about the report earlier. I just want to know, after engaging those government ministers, those government officials about their impression of the digital regime, what are you going to do a formal presentation of the entire report to the government?
So we did a formal presentation of the report to a group of students and civil society activists because the whole program, the Africa Freedom of Information Center, sponsored this program through the Center for Media Studies and Peace Building. And the Media Network was the one that provided the funding. So CMEPS organized a program of civil society and students, and there was presentation done around that. So at the next stage, there's going to be definitely a presentation that will involve government. The Africa Freedom of Information Center did a program 2 days ago, and they invited some of the government officials that we interviewed for this program. They participated in that program. I saw a presentation. So there will be another locally done program that will involve providing this report to the public, and not only the public but also to the government.
Are you intending to do a comparative analysis between what you've done with your report to other countries, say for example maybe Ghana and say Guinea, say Nigeria, how the people there did respond, and whether you can incorporate some of those suggestions in your report?
There's a synthesis report because this study was done in Ghana, Uganda, Nigeria, and Liberia. So it's a 3-country survey. There's a synthesis report that basically puts side by side the 3 countries. And
are the situations the same in the 3 countries?
They are not. They are not. The situations are not the same at all. In Nigeria, for example, they have laws that govern the procurement of these technologies, clear cut there. In Uganda, the laws are not too clear. Likewise in Liberia. So the situations are not necessarily the same in all the 3 countries. The synthesis report is available, and we'll also share that with the government.
Okay, we are winding down. There are other things we haven't touched on that you want to comment on?
Yeah, so we found also that most of the people we interview, they want an umbrella organization to be responsible for data acquired using digital technology systems. And as I said previously, in a way, the National Identity Registry has a portion of that responsibility already, especially when you look at their mandate. The mandate is to use technology to gather biometric information of people to issue them identity cards. And they also supposed to be the umbrella organization in a country that will be responsible for all the kind of data collection. So say for example the National Elections Commission is talking about biometric registration, right? The National Identity Registry is already set up to do that. So whatever data they have, they basically just collect all the data and pass it on to NEC. Because for as far as I understand, the National Identity Registry is basically providing these ID cards to Liberian citizens. So although they do not have an age limit on who they can give it to, unlike the NEC, the NEC registration process will not be for people who are below the age of 18. So notwithstanding, there is still a way that they can work off, but the National Identity Registry is a place to go. So the same thing when it comes to the passport information, birth certificate information, all the kind of stuff. So the fact that they are set up legally to do it, what has to be done now, they got to be supported financially, in order for them to get to the level that the law revisions that they should get. And most of the people in the public think that there should be an umbrella organization. And I think what has to happen, maybe there has to be a little tweaking of the law to ensure that the National Identity Registry is not only limited to these ID card issues, so that they can monitor and oversee every data collection that has to do with the use of technology, whether it's the facial recognition, whether it's iris recognition, whatever it is.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
We've been speaking to Attorney Lamin Kpabo. He's been our guest on the show. Well, that's it for this edition of the show. For today, we'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock for another presentation of Power Exchange. My name is Anthony Stevens. Good day.